I can actually see out the window. The condensation is not built up on the window the way it was yesterday. How are you? Ariel, join me here for just a second. I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. I don't have any little children in the schools. Ariel, is today Mobile County back to school today?
Yes, back to school for Mobile County today. I think next week is Baldwin County.
Okay, so or the week after.
Or the week after.
So today's the day that all of our friends that have children are going to go on Facebook and have the pictures, right?
Right. In fact, yesterday I had my own pictures of my kids starting school, and I noticed like a lot of kids who go to K-3 programs, they started yesterday. So today, the rest of the children's photos will be flooding our news feeds and our news stations and our radio stations.
So Ariel took her son to school for the very first time yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you get emotional?
I didn't, but he did, which made the whole thing a little bit stressful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he grab onto your leg and as you tried to leave?
He didn't, because his teacher blocked his path. So she, it was so sad. She blocked his path and wouldn't let him get out of the room. And then they finally shut the door, and it was like, oh no, this is going bad. Yeah. So the first probably 5 minutes of his school career went horribly wrong.
So today, now what is your attitude on? Are you going to be on social media commenting on all your friends and family's first days of school?
Probably not. At most, I'll like the picture or put a little heart emoji on it.
Okay.
But no. I think I'm going to hold off on commenting, because then your notifications blow up with unnecessary stuff that you
That is
just
true.
don't need.
That well said. You have a good strategy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on the first day of school for your son, Buzz.
Thank you.
He is 2.5 and already getting into the K-3 there. And so today, social media, back to school pictures and parents emoting. Lots of emotion flowing wildly on social media with back to school today. I'm just letting you know. Now, please do not be offended if I'm not on Facebook with the heart emoji and all that stuff. I've got stuff to do today, so I'm not going to be able to go on Facebook and track all of your little children and grandchildren going back to school. But I wish them the best. I hope they have a wonderful year of learning here in the school system. Let's see, we had a debate last night. We'll get into that. I had to watch it, so I'll tell you about that and many other things as we continue. First, traffic and weather. Together, we do it every 10 minutes on the nines.
Time-saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, it's back to the books for students in Mobile County as well as the city of Saraland. School zones will be in effect this morning. Remember to slow down and watch your speeds. But right now, you're doing great across the area, not seeing any problems, especially on those interstate systems. I-10 free and clear in both directions if you're traveling through Mobile. Same if you're traveling through Pensacola, and you're accident and problem-free on all your surface streets. And with time-saver traffic, I'm Angie Brolier.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.
Around the world, there are young people who face a difficult decision: continue their dream of education or drop out to help support their families. In a single moment, you can help them write a new story. See potential, not poverty, at unbound.org.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Tuesday to you, everybody. We are turning up our temperatures today. We're going to be flirting with 90 degrees. We've got about a 30% chance of wet weather as we head through the afternoon, and where storms develop, do expect some heavy downpours and dangerous lightning. Lows tonight in the 70s and more upper 80s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.
Right now, there's a girl in India who has dreams bigger than her village. Right now, there's an elder in Guatemala who dreams of a life of greater dignity and less loneliness. You can help change the future of one person in a single moment. Begin the change at unbound.org.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I did watch the mayoral debate, the Sam Jones, Standy Simpson mayoral debate last night on Local 15. All throughout the debate and then after the debate, I thought to myself, do I really need to watch these debates? And I guess I do because of the job I'm in, but one day I will look forward to not watching these debates, whatever day that is. I've watched a lot of them from the days. In fact, I think I've got audio here of the Arthur Outlaw Mike Dow debate. I've just watched enough of them. No offense to the people at the debate, but I've watched enough of them. Now, last night, what did you miss? What did you miss? You were busy living your life as a free American, allegedly. What did you miss? Well, Sam Jones says things are bad. He used the word stagnant, that Mobile is stagnant. And Standy Simpson says things are good, that we're moving in the right direction, lots of optimism, et cetera, et cetera. So it was very big contrast between the way the two gentlemen see the city, the direction of the city, the current state of the city. I also picked up on something that I'm sure would be obvious to you too. At first, Sam Jones, at the beginning of the debate, he seemed a little low energy. But as the debate moved into the second 15 minutes and on, his energy level went up as he seemed quite agitated. And he seemed agitated because he's not mayor, is what it seemed like. He just really, he was not happy. Not happy. And just about everything was disagreed on as far as the financial situation that the city was in, that it is in. One of the things that Sam Jones brought up a couple of times was the loss of Bayfest as being really, really bad. And no offense to Bayfest, but I had stopped even thinking. I almost had forgotten we had Bayfest. No offense to Bayfest. But Bayfest was brought up. Coming up in the next segment, I'll share with you some audio from the debate. I do have, I picked a few clips. The Local 15, their website has the whole thing if you want to watch it. The most interesting moments I thought were discussions of money because, and I won't share a lot of that with you here because it's very lengthy, but that is almost like two completely different realities. And if you haven't paid attention to the financial situation of the city over the past 10 years or so, you might get really confused watching it. But two different realities were on display last night. I'll share a little bit of it with you when we come back on the Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show, by the way. Here we are on Facebook. All right, and by the way, stand by. Let me. All right, we're good to go on the radio. I just have to make sure the radio station's actually playing something.
If you've got back pain, neck pain like me.
Yes. During the radio breaks, I discuss my physical maladies.
Associates. Now, when I've gone to see Dr. Call, I've been...
and who I go to see for my medical problems. That's what the radio listener is hearing right now, my medical problems. All right, let me look and see if there's anything new to share with you this morning. We found out last hour that it's National Sneak a Zucchini Onto Your Neighbor's Porch Day, which I don't want that neighbor. I don't want that neighbor. If there's a neighbor sneak, I don't want anything snuck onto my property. Good morning to Graham Green, Margie Wilcox, Linda Big Lane Dunn, James Eubank, Steve Clevenger, Mark Christ, Ken Harris, Bama Big Man. Good morning to all of you watching on Facebook. I have not gotten a Roll Tide yet this morning, so I'm hoping that Bama Big Man, I'm hoping that I'll get one at some point, some type of Roll Tide. So I watched the mayoral debate last night. I don't want to watch any more of these things. I know I have to, but I feel resentful when I'm watching them. Then we've got the Senate. I guess it's next week that we have the U.S. Senate vote. I wonder if we'll get debates after that. Once we narrow it down to a couple of people, I guess I'll be interested in that, just to see what is said. It'll be Roy Moore versus somebody. So that'll be interesting to watch, I suppose. Oh, by the way, last night, Local 15 had the mayoral debate between Sam Jones and Standy Simpson. Right at the beginning of the debate, they explained there are two other people running. What's his name and what's her name? And I apologize that I can't remember who. I'll learn their names eventually. But they explained, I wish I had this part. I need to see if I can find the audio of this. They explained that those two candidates did not meet the requirements to be on the TV debate, that they needed to have raised at least $5,000 for their campaign, or there was some other way that they were being measured, but they did not meet the criteria to make it onto television. So that's why they were not invited to participate in the debate. Now, if they knew the requirements, maybe each one of them could have loaned $5,000 of their own money to their campaigns, and that would have got them on TV. But maybe they didn't know. I'll have to see if I can find that part on the Local 15 website so you can hear it. But could I set that standard for myself, that I don't have to remember the name of a candidate unless they raise a certain amount of money or have a certain amount of support? Maybe I can use this to make my life easier, is that you have to reach a certain standard before I remember a candidate. All right, look, we're about to go back on the radio right after the weather, so stand by.
Warmer. We're going to be flirting with 90 degrees as we sail through the afternoon. We will have about a 30% chance of storms for today. Where it's not stormy, it will be sunny. So umbrella and sunglasses will be necessary. And we're going to keep this summertime pattern all the way through the end of the work week. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News and this iHeartRadio station.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin in about 10 minutes. Right now, it's me and you and Ariel. Last night, I did watch the debate on Local 15 between Sam Jones and Standy Simpson. And it was frustrating on a personal and professional level. It was frustrating, mainly because just look, after the last presidential election, I've had about all the spin I can handle. I'm permanently dizzy from all of that. Let me share just a couple of excerpts with you from the debate. This is just a quick. This will give you a little taste. Nothing. There's no fireworks here, but the question was, what do you consider, since both men have been mayor, the question is, what do you consider your greatest accomplishment as mayor?
I think the greatest accomplishment was shepherding the city through the worst economic downturn in the history of the country. Mobile was one of the 10 cities that was recognized in Forbes magazine that really had a recovery better than any of the other cities in the United States. Mobile had that distinction. We didn't lay off a person. We didn't cut anybody's benefits. We didn't cut anybody's services. We didn't disrupt the city at all. And why? Without any interruption in service. We made it.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with my technical difficulty.
I'd say that now the momentum is really real. You can feel it. If you look around the capital, because of the capital improvement program, Mobilians everywhere are seeing things going on in their community that they've never seen before. And that's because we wanted to make sure that it was equitably distributed. But if you think about fighting crime, the 21st century policing, the new equipment and technology that we're employing, the better training that we're giving to our first responders, and creating jobs, 19 new aviation companies, you have Amazon, you have Walmart, and the follow-on to those is just incredible what they could be. Downtown, countless new restaurants, new shops, new opportunities to live there, reversing blight, Broad Street going to be rebuilt, Tech Corridor on St. Louis Street, the reform of the municipal courts, first city in the state of Alabama to have Uber.
Uber.
Leadership at Mobile Fire Rescue, all new garbage trucks for the public works. We paved Dan Street. And we did all of that while reducing debt incurred by the previous administration. And did I mention that we have a cruise ship back?
All right, so Sam Jones' greatest accomplishment was he saved us all. And then Standy Simpson went down the laundry list there. No fireworks there, but that was kind of the really kind of summed up the whole evening. Here's the silliest. I don't know if I would call it maybe the dumbest question ever asked in a municipal debate ever, or the silliest, but Sam Jones was allowed to ask, each candidate was allowed to ask the other one a couple of questions. This one really was just about blew my mind.
The question I'd like to ask is, it is always customary, since I've been at the city, and even when I was at the county, that previous administrations are afforded the opportunity to participate in functions that they actually were instrumental in causing. What I want to ask Mayor Simpson is, why was it set up to the point where Sam Jones got no invitation to any activity concerning Airbus, concerning Mardi Gras Park, when everybody in Mobile, and probably Alabama, know that I was the key individual in both of those projects? Why didn't I get an invitation? After Mayor Dow got one, several other people got one. I didn't get one.
My answer to that question would be that list for Airbus was created by Airbus. There were some other dignitaries that were very instrumental in bringing Airbus here that also did not get invitations. We had no input into that. When it comes to Mardi Gras Park, what we did with Mardi Gras Park, we created a brand new concept of what it was. The money that was given for the park came from Bill Herron, and while there were some plans created by the previous administration, we went in a different direction, and maybe it was an oversight that we didn't invite Mr. Jones to that, but I'll be more thoughtful about that in the future.
Okay, so Sam Jones wants to know why I didn't get invited. Sorry, pardon me for the laughter. Why I didn't get invited to the parties. And the first answer is Airbus didn't, it was not us, it was Airbus didn't want to invite you to the party. Do we really, look, yeah, I guess these debates are essential, but I just feel like I've watched too many of them at this point. Hey, there's more to come. The Uncle Henry Show continues after news, traffic, weather, all of that.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. CVS Health is out with its second quarter earnings and results beat estimates. We're also watching for earnings today from SeaWorld, Hertz, and Disney. McDonald's says that it will increase the number of restaurants it has in China from 2,500 to 4,500 over the next 5 years in an effort to drive double-digit sales growth in each of those years. China will soon become the largest market outside of the U.S. for McDonald's. U.S. consumer credit card debt just passed an ominous milestone, beating a record set just before the global financial system almost collapsed in 2008. Fed data shows that outstanding card loans reached just over $1 trillion in June as lenders including Citigroup and J.P. Morgan Chase competed to sign up cardholders who may carry balances. Stock futures are little changed, crude oil at $49.51 a barrel. Both the S&P 500 and the Dow hit more new record highs yesterday as tech and consumer staples rose while energy slipped. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Do you have high cholesterol? Are you unable to tolerate high doses of statin medication? You may be eligible for a clinical research study being conducted to test the safety and effectiveness of an investigational medication that may help to lower cholesterol levels in people who are unable to tolerate high doses of statin medication. To qualify, you must be at least 18 years of age, have high cholesterol, be taking a statin medication that is low dose or less than low dose, including if you are unable to tolerate a statin at any dose, and meet additional study criteria. Qualified participants will receive all study medication and study-related care from a dedicated team of medical staff at no cost. Health insurance is not required to participate. To find out more about this high cholesterol clinical research study and to see if you qualify, call Coastal Clinical Research Inc. at 251-262-4951. That's 251-262-4951. Call now. 251-262-4951.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, it's back to school time for students in Mobile County as well as the city of Saraland, so expect heavier traffic across the area, and also school zones will be in effect, so remember to slow down and watch your speeds. But right now you're doing great. We're not seeing any problems, especially on those interstate systems, and we're accident and problem-free on all your major highways and bridges. And with Time Saver Traffic, I'm Angie Brolier.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is back to school for Mobile County, and the back-to-schoolers will need to dress light today. Extra water in the backpacks. We will have temperatures approaching 90 degrees. We've got about a 30% chance of wet weather for today. Lows tonight in the 70s, and the weather's going to be on repeat for Wednesday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
A debate for the heart of Mobile voters. I'm Local 15 star Win Singleton with this iHeartRadio News Update. Crime, race, and tourism. 3 hot-button topics in the city of Mobile, and hot topics for former Mayor Sam Jones and current Mayor Sandy Stimpson during last night's Local 15 mayoral debate. Stimson says when it comes to public safety, he's worked to better what Jones handed down, but Jones says even with Stimson at the helm, Mobile has one of the highest crime rates in the state. Jones took Stimson to task about his One Mobile concept, labeling it a PR slogan, that there's no diversity in the current administration, and blasted Stimson for his participation in the controversial Comic Cowboys Mardi Gras crew. Well, Stimson claimed Jones left the city's finances in disarray, but the current administration made tough choices to stabilize and grow the city's budget and local economy. Both took credit for Carnival Cruise Line's decision to come to Mobile, Jones for its initial arrival, and Stimson for its return to the port city. A deadly home invasion in Atmore. Investigators say 56-year-old Robert Kennedy was shot and killed Monday in an early morning home invasion. 45-year-old Joy McClammy of Flomaton was also critically injured. Police say an armed gunman entered Kennedy's home on Broad Street in Atmore, where both he and McClammy were in bed. We're told the gunman demanded money before opening fire. No word on McClammy's condition this morning. Plan on leaving a little early for work starting this morning as students return to public schools in Mobile County and the city of Saraland. News breaks while you sleep. When you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeart radio station.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. North Korea defiant as the White House keeps up the pressure.
North Korea vows that thousands will fold retaliation for sanctions amounting to $1 billion slash on their export revenues, the heaviest yet leveled against the rogue nation. And U.S. spy satellites yesterday detecting the North loading 2 anti-cruise missiles on a patrol boat, a clear sign that they are not listening.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. A manhunt has ended for the rape suspect who overpowered an Ohio sheriff's deputy and escaped on Friday.
32-year-old Brandon Powell was handcuffed and had his legs shackled, but still managed to headlock the deputy driving the car, forcing it to crash.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown, authorities saying Powell shot himself last night in a crawl space at his parents' home as officers were trying to persuade him to surrender. Fox News, we report, you decide.
I'm Trip Pittman, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Alabama hasn't elected a businessman to the U.S. Senate in 110 years. That must change. As a self-made businessman, I understand how to get things done. We need more businessmen in office who can lead and solve problems. Businessmen have to balance budgets. Career politicians don't. You can help send a real businessman to Washington, D.C. I'm Trip Pittman, and I ask for your vote on August 15th.
Did you wake up this morning and think to yourself, I sure am hot? Or maybe you woke up in the middle of the night thinking how hot you are? Well, with a new Daikin indoor comfort system from Baldwin Heating and Air, you can cool down and save money, which is pretty cool itself. Plus, for a limited time when you install select qualifying Daikin brand indoor comfort systems from Baldwin Heating and Air, you'll receive a Comfort Cash rebate up to $1,500 instantly. Or take advantage of no interest financing options so you can start saving immediately, which once again is very cool. And Baldwin Heat and Air has been right here in the community for over 20 years with our factory certified technicians. So we're here if you ever need us. Call the professionals at Baldwin Heat and Air today and start saving on your brand new Daikin indoor comfort system. After all, nobody wants to wake up hot, right? And hurry, Daikin special offers end August 31st. Call 251-626-1159 or visit baldwinhvac.com. Alabama license number 99108.
The IRS doesn't mess around. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. If you owe back taxes, call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
Are you putting your retirement savings in a 401k, IRA, or investment account? Then I have one word of advice. Stop. Experts warn of a stock market crash any day now, and you could lose 50% or more of your hard-earned savings again. But you don't have to lose a penny. There's a better, safer way to save for retirement, and you can learn about it in a free report. This method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Talked a lot about the mayoral debate last night on Local 15. Jason is with us. Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jason. How are things with you?
Outstanding. It is a wonderful and beautiful day God gave us. I'm just a little... I was shocked at what I heard last night. I did not stay up last night. I went to bed early following your lead and tried to get up a little bit earlier this morning, and I was shocked to hear that people had said what they said in front of a live audience, talking about how the Forbes magazine rated Mobile as one of the cities that recovered quickly. Forbes magazine runs daily op-eds on Pokemon Go. No one really pays attention to them anymore. And him saying that we didn't lose jobs, I remember all the teachers who lost their jobs. I remember all the public servants who went without benefits. I remember us losing tons and tons of business out of Mobile to the point where we became dependent on the cruise terminal. And now both of them are taking credit for something that is now in where a major source of our income is in the hands of a third party that we basically have no control over. That's not good. That's not good at all. And then Sandy Stimson saying that he spent that money on upgrades to police and law enforcement. Well, that's great. How about giving us some of those bot cams? But both of them are just dodging every one of the issues that they know we don't want to hear them saying. I didn't hear anybody say anything about that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tirade. You have a good day, sir, and any comment would be great. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. Thank you for the first live Roll Tide of the day to the Uncle Henry Show. Maybe the only one I'll get. Thank you, Jason. Well, see, Jason, that was the thing about watching the debate, because I like you, remember details over the past 10 to 15 years. So when I heard descriptions of the last 10 to 15 years that didn't match my memory, it was somewhat confusing and irritating at the same time during the debate. But that... as I've mentioned already this morning, if somebody has not, now, Jason, you paid attention. I was forced to pay attention due to the job. For people that haven't paid close attention to the ins and outs of city finance, which can be really boring, then they would have been, they wouldn't know what to think watching that last night, because there were so many different opinions of what the facts really are. And a lot of people get upset when the media wants to try. We've watched presidential debates and have been upset when media members have tried to step in and correct candidates. So I think the news anchors did what they should have done. They just let the discussion go on, and it's up to us to figure out what we thought about it. We're going to check traffic and weather. We do it together every 10 minutes on the nines, and then right back with more Uncle Henry Show.
Traffic from the Dean McCrary Porsche Traffic Center.
A few more cars and a bit more volume. That's what we're seeing across the board. But overall, you're doing great, especially on those interstate systems and major bridges. I-10, I-65, Bankhead Causeway, all moving well. Same if you're crossing the Escambia Bay Bridge into or out of Pensacola. And it's the first day of school for students in Mobile County as well as the city of Saraland. School zones will be in effect. Remember to slow down and watch those speeds. And with Time Saver Traffic, I'm Angie Brolier.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Tuesday to you, everybody. We are turning up our temperatures today. We're going to be flirting with 90 degrees. We've got about a 30% chance of wet weather as we head through the afternoon, and where storms develop, do expect some heavy downpours and dangerous lightning. Lows tonight in the 70s and more upper 80s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio national correspondent. Talk about what's going on in Washington while President Trump is in New Jersey. Let's talk to William. Hello, William. Good morning.
Hey, Uncle Henry. First shout out to my Uncle Dave.
Hi. You're giving a shout out to your Uncle Dave?
Yes, and today is first day of school. I just wanted to call in, ask you how your big fat mom is doing.
Hey! Who put up their child to this? Did somebody put their child up to this on the first day of school? What a terrible way to start the school year, with a child calling in with a prank call. It's sick. What a bear. Look, this, if you're the adult involved in this, the child doesn't know any better due to a lack of being raised properly. And they're really the sum of the environment, terrible environment that they're being raised in, probably watching R-rated films on television and playing video games all day and all that kind of garbage. But the parent, the adult, who, I don't know if it's the Uncle Dave involved in this, but whoever it is, what a terrible, terrible, you're amused by it now due to your sickness, your juvenile sickness. But this is all, one day you're going to be looking at the mugshot and you're going to be sad. You're going to see the child's mugshot and you're going to be sad and you're going to want to know where things went wrong. And this is a marker. This is a milepost on the path, this terrible ne'er-do-well path that you have set this child on. And I would encourage you to gather together after the school day and try to reorient yourselves, because what a terrible thing. And think of those that there may be other children that are being forced to listen to this. Maybe as a punitive measure by their parents or grandparents on the first day of school. Maybe the child has acted up and they're using this program as a punitive measure, and you've inspired other children to be on the wrong path. It is a terrible, terrible thing to put a little child on the wrong path, because one day they're going to hit me over the head and take my money or the money of any other citizen. So again, to the child, I hope we can somehow get you on the right path. And to you adults involved, what a sick, sad, reprehensible thing you're involved in. Allowing a child to prank call and disrupt, and this is serious. We have elections going on. We have, we just have a situation in our country when we can least afford prank calling to a radio show. All right, listener, I apologize. This punishes everyone, doesn't it? It's not just a punishment for the little children being forced to listen. It's also a punishment for you. All right. When we come back, Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio national correspondent. Investigations going on in Washington while President Trump is in New Jersey.
You've heard the news.
It's a new generation of missiles.
You know the story.
All options are on the table.
Now it's time to share your opinion.
We have a very serious issue in the world right now called North Korea.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
You may have heard Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson is under new ownership. That means more bikes, more parts, more motor clothes, and more events. Yay! Hey, it's Shelby Mitchell. And check this out. Get a new Harley, get 3 years of free service. So all you have to worry about is your next destination. And don't forget, bike nights are back every other Thursday. Next one's coming up on the 17th. Put it on your calendar. Oh, and an interesting event, rock painting. Stay tuned for details. Go by and see them, Pleasant Valley Road in Mobile, or check them out at mobilebayharley.com.
Frigo, Frigo, Frigo. Know how to make it feel good.
Frigo means dry and cool in Latin, and that's exactly how you'll feel when you wear Frigo underwear. With ergonomic.
All right, Facebook, welcome back. We're in the radio break. The radio listeners hearing about underwear.
Having custom-made air-conditioned underwear. Frigo spells Frigo. Buy yours now at iwearfrigo.com.
Air-conditioned underwear, there can't be, that's not real. What is that, holy underwear? Underwear with a bunch of holes in it? We don't need that. All right, that's what the listener's hearing. By the way, let me adjust what the listener is hearing. Stand by. I can't delete commercials. They won't let me do that. I've not reached a level in my career where I'm allowed to reject a commercial. But I can add things. So I just added something there. All right, look, and now the listeners are hearing about Mr. Maloney.
What?
Well, when I was 13, I read To Kill a Mockingbird.
All right, that's what we want all of our lawyers to have read when they're 13, is To Kill a Mockingbird. And that's why he won't defend drunk drivers. All right, coming up in the next hour, right after 7 o'clock, we're allegedly going to get a phone call on the Uncle Henry Show from attorney Jeff Dean. Jeff Dean is the attorney that's representing the people that are being accused of selling the Jaguar coat. And I think they're in court today. I think they're in court. There's some kind of a hearing today about the Jaguar coat. So the attorney, Jeff Dean, is going to come on the show. And we'll have a few minutes with Jeff Dean about the case of the women that sold the endangered species coat in Mississippi. State lines still matter. I had to go to Mississippi yesterday because my dog is having an eyeball removed. And I had to go to a dog eyeball specialist in Mississippi yesterday. And when I was crossing the state line, my phone said, "Welcome to Mississippi," which I found very disconcerting. So state lines do matter. They do matter. You can't take your Jaguar coat across the state line. So that's coming up in right after the 7 o'clock news. We'll be trying to get Jeff Dean, the attorney, on the Uncle Henry Show. All right, watching patiently for Joe Gomez to call the Uncle Henry Show. So stand by.
Who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
On this second day of the work week, our temperatures are going to get a bit warmer. We're going to be flirting with 90 degrees as we sail through the afternoon. We will have about a 30% chance of storms for today. Where it's not stormy, it will be sunny. So umbrella and sunglasses will be necessary. And we're going to keep this summertime pattern all the way through the end of the work week. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News and this iHeartRadio station.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710, WNTM, 99.5 FM, The Jag. I want to welcome back to the Uncle Henry Show, NBC News Radio national correspondent Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez, good morning.
Good morning.
So President Trump, now he's in New Jersey, and the word vacation has been used, but it doesn't look to me like he's on vacation. He's going to make some announcement about the opioid crisis today, right?
Right. Yeah. It's he really is like one of those bosses that goes on vacation, but still can't help out send out emails or something like that. But he apparently he plans on having some kind of a press briefing about the opioid crisis. He had tweeted out something about how the opioid crisis had been underreported, or the effects of it had been underreported. And so he's very appropriately, I guess, going to be talking about this from New Jersey, Bedminster, New Jersey, where his golf course is at. But New Jersey is one of the states that has been really hard hit by the opioid crisis, much like Alabama has.
Okay, so, and on the topic of vacation, I heard somebody say that in one of his books, he said something to the effect of why take a vacation, that you might as what's the point of a vacation was the gist of what he was reporting. So maybe this is the way he will vacation throughout the presidency, is go somewhere, play a little golf, and work a little bit every day.
Yeah, I mean, he did talk about when he was getting into office during the transition. I remember there was an interview, and I forget who he was doing it with, but somebody did ask him if he was going to be taking vacations, and he said, and Melania was sitting right next to him, and he said, "Oh no, we're not going to be doing any vacations. No vacations here." And I think Melania gave him like this really nasty look, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that is that would not be popular with a wife.
But I think that to some degree, I guess you're right. It's hard for him to just kind of drop everything.
And he really went after that senator yesterday on Twitter, and I noticed he's already tweeting a lot this morning. So he's still keeping his eye on the ball, or at least a few while he's on vacation. Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio. I want to ask you about what's going on in Washington while he's gone in terms of that Russia issue.
Well, the Russia issue, still maintains. I mean, it still continues to be a problem, obviously, for the Trump administration. I mean, the investigation is continuing. I don't know that there's any kind of real big breaking news with the investigation. We haven't really heard of anything, mostly because there hasn't been any leaks, I guess. But I think that so far it sounds like Bob Mueller, the special counsel, is going to be using this grand jury as kind of a tool to try to get more evidence or more information about what he needs to get. The evidence if the Trump campaign colluded with the Russians, or about Donald Trump Jr., or about wherever his investigation is going. But we haven't heard anything earth-shattering, so I would take that to mean that there's not necessarily an indictment that's going to be on the horizon.
Now, Joe Gomez, is Mueller's grand jury from people that live in the district?
Yeah, I mean it's basically people from the area.
Okay, so what you live there? So what kind of jury can we expect? I know that I think D.C. went overwhelmingly for Hillary in the last election.
Well, yeah, D.C. is a very liberal city. I mean, it's remarkably liberal, actually. So, I mean, what kind of jury can you expect? I mean, look, I don't think it's going to be one that's going to be typically very favorable for President Trump, I guess. But then again, I mean, look, there are ways to select a grand jury, and I believe there's going to be about 24 members on the grand jury, and I'm sure at least one or some of them are going to be of a conservative
Did
bent.
you
But
say
DC
one?
overall is-
Did you say one of them that they'll find one?
I'm sure they'll find somebody. They've got to find somebody who's conservative, in this city. But no, I mean it does trend overwhelmingly liberal here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Joe Gomez, we appreciate your time.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
There he goes, Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio national correspondent. Not much to report on, and maybe there never will be much to report on the Russian story. All right, we have news headlines coming up in just a couple of minutes from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin. Before we go to the news, I want to go to the email inbox. I've got a few emails that have come in and I haven't had a chance to get to. Subject line on the email is Roll Tide Roll. Email reads, Good morning, Uncle Henry. 25 days and counting until the tide hits the field. Have a great day, my friend. And that email from Bama Big Man. Bama Big Man, thank you for the email, Roll Tide Roll. Let me return your Roll Tide Roll.
Okay, say.
No.
There you go.
All right. That was somebody learning Roll Tide. Let me go back to the email inbox. Subject line on the email is good morning. Email reads Roll Tide, Uncle Henry. Roll Tide. Sorry I slept in, stayed up late working. Also Roll Tide, something number of days till we beat the Florida State Felons. Roll Tide, and that email from KP. KP, thank you for offering a few Roll Tides to the program. Let me return your Roll Tides with this Roll Tide.
Roll Tide roll.
And let me return with this Roll Tide.
Roll Tide roll.
And then this Roll Tide.
Roll Tide roll, Uncle Henry.
All right. Thank you for the Roll Tides. Always appreciated. Let's see. There's more email to get to, but I don't have time to get to it. So that will have to percolate and simmer on the Uncle Henry Show stove of topics. Coming up, we're going to try and make contact with attorney Jeff Dean. He is representing the Jaguar Fur Coat Lady.